Brandon.
Yes, Jazz.
Are you ready to review some comics?
I am so ready to review some comic
Then
books.
let's review some comic books.
Hey there, nerds. Cubby here with my comic reviews this week. First up, I got to read Amazing Spider-Man number 685, and I gotta say, an awesome book. I haven't been reading Spider-Man for quite a while. It's an issue now and then, but I kind of keep up with the stories. I know what's going on. Spider Island happened, yada yada yada, all this stuff. Right now, Doc Ock is kind of like taking over the world. He's taking over control and saying that he's a good guy. Spider-Man knows he's a bad guy, and Spider-Man's made this awesome costume to fight the Sinister Six that Doc Ock has created. In this issue, you kind of see him at the end of a battle, kind of regrouping, getting some other heroes together to help him out. It's one of those cool, really cool rally cry issues where you take a break from the action. There's still some action, but you take a break from most of the action. A good breather issue, setting up some stuff that's going to be really, really awesome. Plus, Humberto Ramos artwork is always really cool, so I'm going to give this book a 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. The next comic I got to read was Epic Kill #1. First off, I thought this book was just going to be crazy action sequences akin to, like, I don't know, Super Jail or something. But no, it was actually way cooler than that. It was more along the lines of Kill Bill, where you got this one super trained assassin. She's a lot younger. She's about like 18. She goes to a boarding school, and she doesn't know what the hell's going on. It's like crazy security guards and crazy mystery surrounding the place. But she gets out and she goes on a pretty much a murdering streak. But it's not like all good people. It's all bad guys. So you cheer for her, and there's people that are have her trapped and have her under control or whatever. And she the cool part is when she kills people, she doesn't really know that she's doing it. It comes naturally to her, but she doesn't really know it happened. She kind of blocks it out of her mind, which is kind of interesting because usually whenever you see a story like this, it's always the people thinking about who they killed first, and she doesn't even care about it. She doesn't even have any emotional attachment to it. So it's pretty cool. Some really cool action sequences. There's a really good one at the end of it. Just a great action book. Totally check it out. Artwork's great on it. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Hey guys, Cubby here with my review for Exo Man of War #1. I got to read this book, and first off, I got to say this was actually a book that they did a limited edition where it actually like interacted with you. You were able to make it say what you wanted, and you can talk to it, which is pretty cool. They're kind of pushing the boundaries of technology with comic books. Did it help the story? No. So really, it was cool, but the story was actually kind of good, and it didn't need any cool technology to be showcased. Anyways, story, it's like a dude back in like the Roman times, medieval times. He's like I want to say like a Viking, going and trying to take some land over from the Romans. He ends up getting abducted through this crazy story. Gets abducted by aliens who are pretty much planting spies within the Roman Empire and things like that. It's really interesting because it gives a few twists and changes things up, and you think it's just going to be stupid, crazy action, but it actually has a decent story to it, or at least it has it right now. It's first issue, so I'm a little wary on it. I'm going to give it 3.5 Nerd Skulls, but definitely check it out because in a world where we got a ton of stories that are pretty much the same thing over and over again, it's nice to have something that's fresh. So check it out.
Hey there, nerds. Jasmine here with my comic reviews for the week. First up is World's Finest #1. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea this book was coming out, and I'm glad I read it. I was kind of scared at first because I didn't think the art was gonna be that great, but the book was actually pretty solid. I caught on pretty quickly without having to read Earth 2, which also comes out this week, so make sure you read both. I'm sure there's just more story you could enjoy. But this is pretty much Power Girl and Huntress in their own way in a different dimension, or whatever DC calls it, trying to get back home, and they get attacked by a crazy glowy guy, and that's really all you need to know. You need to check it out. I really liked it. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls just because I freaking love Power Girl and Huntress. Next up is Dial H. It's another in the second wave of DC books to come out. This book was really hit and miss for me at one point, but by the end of it, I was actually really enjoying it. Obviously it's #1. It's about an overweight guy whose life is just in shambles, and he sort of becomes a hero through the oddest of ways. It's kind of creepy. This book was great in terms of dialogue. Once I caught on what was going on, it was really easy to follow. It's pretty much someone in their human form talking to their hero form while the hero form is out. So it's like two consciences going, and it was really confusing at first, but I picked it up. The art's really good. They did a great job on splash pages, which were also kind of hard for me to pick up at first once I really looked at it. They're actually pretty cool. I'm going to give this book 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Check it out because it's just such an interesting story and I want to see where it's going to go.
Hey guys, Brandon here, and I read Avengefuls #1, and I'm not sure why, because this was garbage. The Avengers is coming out this week, so it looks like we've got Avenger parody books, and this is one of them. I guess there's some one-shots for each character, including the Iron Muslim, and then you've got Thor, who is part of the Church of Science Thorology, and I don't know, this is garbage. It's a really terrible book. Osama bin Laden is the Hulk, and then Obama shoots him in the face, and it just, I don't know. This is really not good. I'm giving it 1 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. All right, guys, Brandon here, and I got to read Hack Slash #15. It's a book I've always enjoyed, and I feel like in the last couple issues, it's starting to take a little more of a serious direction. You know, it's cool. You're killing slashers, all the stuff's going on, but you're really starting to get a little more character development. And this issue has it all. We got giant monsters fighting. You got Cassie throwing down. Some things happen that I don't want to give away if you've been reading the series that are really going to affect Cassie, I believe. I mean, you really start to see that she might always be this tragic character that can't ever be happy, but I mean, I kind of like her that way, but I'm enjoying this. You guys should pick it up. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. All right, guys, I got to read Earth 2 #1, and I was very, very, very surprised by this. The cover and all the preview art we'd been seeing, I really thought was going to lead in one direction, and a lot of things happened in this issue that kind of set the stage for a lot more of a different book than I think we all thought we were going to get. It does have a tie-in with World's Finest. I would read this one before reading World's Finest if you're reading both. Other than that, you really get to see some cool stuff. You get to see younger versions of some JLA characters that I'm sure will be playing a much bigger role in this series. But pick it up if you can. I'm giving this one 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey, this is Haley with my review of Fanboys vs. Zombies #2. And it takes place entirely in Comic-Con, and it is awesome. It's the perfect people to go into battle with zombies, people who read about the zombies, and they go in willingly to fight these zombies to save a superstar, and it's hilarious and very fun. I'm going to give it 3 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, a few weeks ago I talked about the continuation of the Smallville television show coming out in comic book form. I was a little bit excited at the time. I did have my doubts about the whole project, but I did pick it up this week, and I have to say I was a little bit disappointed. The internal art is pretty damn good. The cover artist, Gary Frank, is one of my favorites, so that's what pulled me into the issue. Gary Frank does not do the internal art, but it is pretty damn good, and it makes me want to keep reading. Unfortunately, Brian Miller, the writer, did not do a good enough job to make me want to read another issue. The storyline has no point, does pick up almost immediately right after the show does, just a couple months after there is a Superman in Metropolis. They pick up where all the characters left off, you know, with Lex Luthor losing his memory and all of that good stuff, but in reality, this book just doesn't have a place. There was no point in it existing, and I just don't really see any point in them making it other than to capitalize on Smallville. So for that, I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. So Image Comics came out with another #1 this week, Mind the Gap #1, written by Jim McCann. The storyline I did not follow beforehand. I didn't know what this book was going to be about, but the artist is the same artist from Morning Glories. As you know, that's one of my favorite comic books, so I decided to pick it up. The storyline, interestingly enough, is kind of like a mix between Morning Glories in its mystery form with The Cell, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's about a woman who's in a coma. She was attacked by someone, and she has no memory of who she was, but now in her head, while she's in the coma, she's stuck with her attacker. So she kind of has to figure out how she was hurt on her own, and all of her family are surrounding her. Very interesting story, and I really want to read another one. So for that, I'll give this one 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, nerds, that is all the comics we have to review for you this week. But until next week, be sure to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube page, and check out nerdlocker.com for all your nerdy news. My name's Brandon.
And I'm Jasmine.
And you guys have a nerdy week.